Brandon, Sard, Anton, Ash. We have Dio in the house looking slick, my bro. We've got Seb and we've got Guna Dan with us, the realist Guna, aka Negative. So welcome, gents. I was like, you're looking very smart, bro. You're very smart, Dio.
Thank you.
I can hear someone's TV in the background. There we go. Brandon, what are you saying, bro? You were on mute if you're trying to talk. There we go.
It's all right. Yeah, disappointed. I feel like we were the creators of our own downfall today. I think when you analyse the result, I think it's a fair result. I think it's a fair result for us, fair result for Sunderland. I can't look past that first half, Tel. I genuinely don't feel like we did anywhere near enough in that first half. And unfortunately, when you're playing Premier League football, no matter who you're against, you cannot allow a full half of football to just pass you by. You can't. You know, it was so poor in that first half, not moving the ball quick enough. In some aspects, we did look like a little bit of a deer in the headlights. Like we wasn't sure on what Sunderland were going to do. We was probably a little bit surprised by the fact that I think, you know, most of these newly promoted teams, you can normally get by just by bullying them. And unfortunately, Sunderland are not a team that you can bully. If anything, from the physical aspect, they was probably just as good, if not better than us today. So I think from that aspect, I think we was kind of sort of thinking that we could just chuck balls in the box and create chances from that. And it didn't work in the first half. It was really poor by Arsenal. Second half, come out much better. We had a good 20-minute spell there where, you know, we really did move the ball very well. We created quite a few chances. Probably should have scored one or two more goals. A little bit unlucky with Zubimendi hitting the crossbar. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's over and, oh my God, what the hell? You know, we've seen this all before and blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, it's one result. And I looked at the players' faces at the end of the game, Gabriel in particular, and they look very disappointed and upset with themselves because they know that they haven't done enough in that game. And hopefully that'll be kind of a learning curve for our players, because I put a lot of the blame on the players today. I don't think, you know, they went out there and gave their all in that first half in particular. I think Mikel Arteta, in hindsight, got it wrong with the substitution as well. We probably shouldn't have been sitting as far back as what we was. But we take the point, we move on. It's a little bit more disappointing because it's the one weekend where you don't really want to drop points. You know, you know that Liverpool or City, or maybe even both of them, are going to drop points. So really, it's the weekend where you want to kind of extend your lead. But I'm not delusional enough to think that Arsenal were just going to continue to keep clean sheets week in, week out, and win games week in, week out. It was always inevitable that at some point we was going to drop points. Just a little disappointing on how we conceded the goals today, because like you said, Tel, you know, we're normally very good in our own area, defending things like that. But credit to Sunderland, to be honest with you, and it is going to be a tough place for many teams to go this season.
Yeah, it is. And look, as I say, listen, I won't tell any Arsenal fan how they. No, I will. I'll tell you if I think you're right or wrong, because that's what we all hear. You come on and tell me the same thing. I don't think it's time. I don't think it's a time or space for absolute meltdowns, but it's the time. There are areas to criticize. I think it's about having that balance, and your players are going to do it themselves here. If he gets that pass right, he could be in here. Oh, Larson trolling the ball himself. Sorry. Anyway, back to what we're saying. I totally get where you're coming from, mate, and I feel the same. I'd feel the same if I was in your situation. And what I think is now an interesting test for Arsenal is, it's a shame there's an international break from your perspective, but what's the next game like? You know, do you come back in the next game and win well, and this just becomes a bit of a memory, or do you have a little rough patch? And I think that there's that's why I think writing the season off so early or going crazy after one setback, I think both of those things are exaggerations.
I think in a way, international break has come at the right time for us, because you look at some, and I'm not even going to start sitting here and blaming injuries, etc. But we know we've got quite a lot of players to come back from injury that are nearly almost there, almost ready. And you've got your likes of Havertz, your Maduekes, Gyökeres is currently out as well. They'll all hopefully be back after international break, so therefore we can go again. I do think from an attacking perspective, when you look at our bench today, we're kind of looking a little bit light in that area again. We had the option of potentially bringing on Ethan Nwaneri or Max Stauman, but they're both academy kids. They're both, still learning their trade. I would have liked to have seen them being brought on, but when you're looking at your options again, there's not really that standout player there that can come on and completely and utterly change the game in our favour, that we can completely rely on to do the job that is required. So I think that's also why, and again, I'm defending Arteta here, I think that's also why he didn't bring on more substitutions. I do think, like I say, he probably made the wrong decision to bring on Mosquera and kind of sit back. But there wasn't really much option there, to be honest with you. And we need them players back. And international break is definitely the right time for us, I think.
I hear that. I hear that. Dan, what do you think went wrong today? I mean, very quiet first half, and then you fight back brilliantly in the second, but then it slips away at the end. What do you think was missing today from Arsenal, in your opinion? You're on mute, brother. I've unmuted you because I heard your TV in the background.
For me, we've seen this in previous games, and it's just like the set pieces have been bailing us out. Albeit today we scored 2 goals from open play today, which was positive for me. But for me, we were playing the football too slow today. It was lethargic. That first half of football was one of the worst halves I think we've played this season. It just wasn't good enough today, Terry. I mean, Eze today, I don't know what's going on with Eze, but for me, this was his chance with Odegaard being out to cement his place in the centre of the park to say, this is my position. But yeah, he's not doing enough. And I think when Odegaard comes on, there's no argument to say that Odegaard just slipped straight back into the team. So it just wasn't good enough today, Terry, in every department for me. Apart from the goals, the moments, 2 great goals today. Great finish from Saka. Great finish from Trossard. All around, it just wasn't good enough. It was slow. It was lethargic. It was boring. And I think overall, Sunderland, it was a fair result 2-2. And I'm not losing my head right now. People think I'm going to be losing my head right now, screaming for Arteta's head. I'm not doing none of that. Right now, we could look back at this result and say, you know what? This was a good draw because Sunderland, second best defence in the league. They've been flying in the Premier League. So I think it might turn out to be a good result. But we've missed the trick here, man. With Liverpool and Man City playing each other, we've missed it. And like you said, the manner of the goals we conceded today as well. Very, very poor. 2 balls into the box, not defended well. And yeah, we've been punished today, man. Brobby, I've been calling him the Dark Destroyer with the half, what's it called again? Overhead kick. The Dark Destroyer. Did you see him? He was a man possessed when he came on. But yeah, that was a knife in the gut. I predicted 4-1 before the game. But for all you fans that have been getting carried away, Arsenal fans, that the league's over, we're going to win the Premier League, we're going to win the quadruple. This is a reality check for you. It's a long season and it's not over yet. These are the games that can come to test you and you can drop points. Yeah. I want to have one criticism of Mikel Arteta today. He should have made a sub earlier. For me, I think last gent, I forgot his name. I apologize, no disrespect. But yeah, Nwaneri should have been coming on from about 60 minutes. Eze was stinking out the gaff for me. Nwaneri was there, dynamic. When we went 2-1 up, I think that was our chance to say, let's go and kill off the game now. Not sit back and rest on our laurels. It was poor in-game management from Arteta today. And to not make a sub until whatever minute was late on the game and bring Mosquera to say, let's just defend this win. Not good enough for me today. Not good enough. Not good enough. And very disappointing.
I hear you on that. Dio, what's your take on this? You're sort of shaking your head there. Do you agree with Dan? Are you in agreement with him? How do you see it, bro? Yeah, you're on mute, bro. Your mic ain't on. I don't know, Dio's listening. But...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. Got you now. Got you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I said today's game for me, I thought we would at least be able to win the 2-0, like try and keep a clean sheet. But clean sheet or not, I wanted 3 points. What I will say, Sunderland is a tough team to play this season, right? and everybody asking, "Oh, bring in, Max Dahman and bring in Ethan Nwaneri." These guys are playing a physical game today. Sunderland. We saw what they were playing. Ethan Nwaneri will not. Let me.
What was Eze doing?
I didn't
Sorry.
interrupt any. No, it's not about what was Eze doing. Yes, Eze was not up to par, but you still needed the physicality. Eze is a lot more physical than Nwaneri, size-wise as well. What Sunderland brought to the table today was a lot of aggression in that midfield. A lot of the first goal. Look at the guy. The guy bullied everybody. Right? We did not fight back. That's what I saw that we did not do. But then again, coming back from 1-0 down at the Stadium of Light to have 2-1 up, and then the manager leans on our strength, which is defense. We bring in another defender to show up. We said this all season, but Arsenal scores 1 goal, is game over. All of a sudden, we lean on our defense, and you hear people are out here blaming the manager for leaning on his strength to try to see a game out. Do you not trust the team to see a game out for the last 5 minutes? You do. So whatever it is that the team decided to do at that point, that mistake that we made, and of course that the Bobby goal, amazing goal for a striker who ran in there, got in front of your defender, and spawned a bicycle kick. There's nothing you can do about that. I put that on Gabriel. That's an individual thing. That's an individual thing where the player should be standing up and not going down. Gabriel, you're 6'2", Bobby is 5'9". You should not be going down while the guy's coming after the ball with you. So again, I think that Sunderland did what they did today. Kudos to them.
Dale, you talk about physicality. Eze wasn't doing much defensively. I am not saying.
Listen again. Like I said, I don't think Eze was doing anything. But Eze is a bigger player in size than Ethan. Ethan would have been run over by the size of those guys. What about
the fatigue of the players, Dale? The fatigue. What about that? No subs for whatever minute. Players get tired, my brother.
Again, you can say whatever you want. I'm just saying what I saw. I let you say your opinion. I didn't say you're wrong. I'm just saying what I was watching. If I'm a manager, I'm not bringing in my young players against those Sunderland players. They're going to run them over. It would have been worse for us. From my perspective, right? Eze being which is why bringing in Mosquera, which is our strength, we're a team that knows how to defend, and then suddenly everybody's like, "Oh, Arteta is playing negative football now. He's bringing in a defender." But these are the same people who 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games ago said once Arsenal scores a goal, it looks like that's the end. Nobody can break down their defense. Now we lean on that same strength, and we now want to blame the manager for it. It's the funniest thing to me. I think that today we deserve the draw that we got. We gave ourselves our own problems. But the Stadium of Light is not a place that anybody's going to go and find it easy or likely. We all knew this. This was the second most defensive team in the league this season so far. They conceded the second least goals, just like we have this season in the Premier League. This is the same team that went on to stun a Chelsea team that is very well talented. So let's not sit here and look at them and think, "Oh, Sunderland is just some weak team." They're not a weak team. We just needed to do better. Again, away from home, the noise in the stadium, I'm not going to use it as excuses. I think our players should have been matured enough to actually just push over. Defending a 2-1 lead is something Arsenal can do. So I don't understand this whole, we play defensive. No, we should be able to defend a 2-1 lead. But defending 1-0 leads against Crystal Palace, a team that is way just as strong as Sunderland. So what excuse? I'm going to put that on the individual players. I'm going to put on Gabriel Magalhaes. That final goal, I think he should not have gone down. You're a bigger player, and you were almost in front of the guy. All you needed to do was stand in front of him. That bicycle kick would have come up to your head if you were standing. The kick would have come up his head if he was standing.
How can you say it's not Arteta's fault?
Again.
What kind of a question is that?
Let me put it this way. The first half was very poor. The team was very poor. The way we played was very poor. Sunderland played better than us in the first half. In the second half, the team rectified their mistake and came up and were 2-1 up. The best defense in the league could not defend a 2-1 lead, and you want to blame the manager?
You've got to
You want to blame a manager who set you up to get the 2-1 lead, regardless of whether you agree to it or not. The point is, you came back from a 1-0 to get 2-1. You're the best defense in the league, and the person I call the best defender in the league right now is tackling a 5'9" player and squatting down. And that's on the manager. Did the manager tell Gabriel to squat down? I'm saying defend your box. If that player scored the bicycle kick, then I'll blame Arteta. But that individual thing that Gabriel did at the end of the game, he could have stood tall. That's what